Good morning, ladies. My name is Chen, and welcome back to part 2 of What If Deku had the, I call it door power, or, yeah, so it's door fruit thing. This one and this one as his powers. So, in the last video, I already went over the craziest stuff. So, yeah. So he survived from the airplane exploding. He was blind, now he can, or he went blind, now he's back to regular. And his powers, or he saved his, or they, yeah. And he did talk to Seal twice. And yeah. So, and All Might, sorry about that. And yeah. So, and he meets All Might for the first time. And yeah. So now at the USJ, as everyone that he saved, like the younger version of them, he actually saved them from dying, as they are happy that they have a person that knew what to do and all that stuff. So yeah, before the USJ thing, he tells All Might that something tells me that you need to come with us at USJ. When we go to USJ, there's, as his heads, there's a villains will ambush us at there. As Mr. Aizawa could hear the conversation between All Might and Zuko, as he says, so what is your prediction? Tell me, please. As he says, better to show you. As he shows the image between, like, he shows All Might and Eraserhead what their thinking process thing. Sorry. Yeah, so they see what will happen if they go to USJ. As they see this big monster, and Shirakusen does his little, like, we're here to kill All Might and all that stuff. Looks like All Might's not here, and so we now kill the rest of you thing. As All Might tells Zuko that his predictions would be correct. Okay? As, yeah. Plus, he shared it with Nezu, so Nezu says, no wonder why we have you in school. As he tells him that Zuko, I know that you have your powers of teleportation, barrier, everything. How about we'll just send you, and because we know that you will be going to your USJ, and if there's a portal opens up at the, we will know. Oh, then we'll jump through and come out. Okay? Okay. As Zumi says, or you're gonna send in my brother, her, and to spring their trap, should he say? Yeah. As he creates illusion so that Kiri can be tricked to activate his quirk, and yeah. As yeah. Then it happened. The villains came out of nowhere. He secretly opens the door. Right behind him. As he says, "Huh, you sprang my, or now Nomu attack." As Nomu was gonna punch. As he actually punched air. Not, or he phased right through illusion. Like, what? Huh, you thought I had, or was with the class 1A? You're sadly mistaken. As you pulled it. As he says that you're only delaying it. As, yeah. So he ends up using, or so then the other pro heroes came, like Long Range, Snipe, and Midnight, and all of them came as the Nomu, and yeah, they had their battles. As Eraserhead says, huh, gonna have on luring them out of the, okay? As Shiraki-san, or yeah, says, huh, how did you predict, or you cheated on it in this game? How did you know about our little plan? As Eraserhead says, Zuko can predict any movements, or predict what will happen. And with only 2 seconds, and yeah. So he ends up, like, gonna say him to assist you. As All Might says, you're just a student. As the Nomu was gonna punch, but the Zuko uses his barrier to literally, how will I put this, encased the Nomu in that barrier. As as the Nomu's trying to punch, man, nothing instructable in my, as she's like trying to do everything as the racer, or not, as on the villain's side, All for One's grinning. As he says that the theme might add you to the. As he puts the barrier that holds the Nomu down onto, as he says, as he's holding the, like, literally, the, or detective asked him to come with them to, have, to bring the barrier. As he says, okay, as it was a tough barrier. Here. As he sets all the villains down, they all, like, went, or only Warp Guy, he, against, as Warp Guy says, between, now it's you versus me. As Kirigiri, he couldn't get a portal through the, can't go underneath it or above it, so he ends up teleporting as he's trying to hold himself. Oh, and Zuko Han, or actually, of course, Nezu built a special chambers that is the same thing, that can't be disintegrated or can't do nothing. Same thing as his barrier. So when he dropped the villains, of course the Warp Guy says no. As the Warp Guy got told by All for One to warp Zuko to him. As Zuko fell through the portal that he didn't even make, Kirigiri did. The one that's behind the Nomu and the Shiraki-sen. Yeah. He ends up, as he fell onto his butt, as Zuko tells him, or no, or actually, the, or no, he knew where Kirigiri was at, so he crushes the metal on the back of his neck. Yeah. Then he had to go toe to toe with a symbol of evil. As he tells him that you were the one that placed that nuke inside of the plane, wasn't it? Yes. And how did you know about that? Or let me guess, you predicted. And then, yeah. As he used his barrier, as the All for One's, like, went towering around. Fight me like a man. Huh. Well, how about take this? As a door opens up, as he says, I'm not stalling, I'm dodging. as as All for One had like a two nukes right beside him. So he straps both nukes onto his back as he tells him that the two of these could cause the half of almost towards the full planet to explode. Yeah. So he ends up just like as he tells him that you're a crazy man, aren't you, All for One? Yes. As Zuko, or as All Might showed up, as he knew that they're about to die, so he uses his power, or as the explosion happened, or actually before the bomb went off, created a barrier between or surrounding him and All for One. As when the bomb goes off, All for One died because his quirk can't regenerate fast enough. How? As his So he lost his quirk and his skin, meat, and yeah, he basically was dead. He was nothing. And Zuko, who got some, or his clothes were, ripped. As pro heroes saw what happened, as Zuko, he used the final move, or finishing move, called, his door fruit thing, as he basically was only thing that was blown off of him was his shirt, his pants, definitely not his underwear, his socks, and shoes. As he basically tells him that as Zuko falls, as the hospital that as the pro heroes, ambulance, fire department, everyone went, and they witnessed that. Yeah. They ended up, they grabbed him put him in hospital as Class 1A, and his parents were so worried about him that as All Might couldn't believe that as or actually let's say, or instead of that, there was a skeleton of Zuko just standing there, and they don't know he died again, as they say that. And as he, as the footage, and when the smoke cleared, the, and when everything settled down, as they couldn't believe that he died again. But this time, or they were a little bit spooked when the news people were gonna turn around, as they see, or when the news people saw what they turned it back on, as they see a skeleton walking. Zuko is still alive, and he tells them that or as only person that really knew that Zuko is still alive is, of course, Seal and All Might. Or actually Seal. So they brought water. He dunked his finger in it, as the water turned into more like Fountain of Youth. So they made a bathtub for him, as that's big enough to put his entire body in. Or actually, he went to the ocean. He did that. He been there, done that all his life. So yeah, as his body starts to, how will I put this? His body still hooks up to his brain, literally. So when he drank it, it was such a pain for him to regenerate all of his organs, his veins, everything. And yeah, and Zuko, it was such a pain, as the doctors even like, okay, and yeah, and when he came back, they put fresh clothes on him that even, yeah. So yeah, his power level, as he was back to normal, as he, yeah, as his skin was all back to the way it was, and yeah, it was just drop dead hilarious that this kid could regenerate by just using the Fountain of Youth's powers. And yeah, Zuko, or no, Inko, no, as Inko ran up to him. He was dressed, so yeah. And as All Might couldn't believe that this kid's entire skeleton just walked around. It spooked everybody at first when, Yeah. As he looks over at the water, or at the, let's say there was a park at there, as he touched the fountain or and became a fountain of youth, as he puts his hand through it, as yeah, so he literally laid in there. He became back to his original self, as yeah. So now they have a fountain of youth in Japan. In the park, yeah, everyone is like happy about that. As he, yeah, as he looked more sexiest person in the world when he came out of the water. As every girl, no, in the entire city ended up having nosebleeds. That's, yeah, there would be a puddle of blood somewhere. Yeah. So it's like her on the whole nother level. So yeah, then he, yeah. So then the sports festival I'm skipping because it's boring part. Camp Park was also boring. It's similar, but no one got captured. Or as they or detective and chief of police and every pro hero, almost every pro hero relies on his fort site, like his past site and the fort site. Yeah. So, but he still hangs out with Bakugo. As Bakugo in this what if is a lot more happy, not super sad or like gonna kill you, deku kind. As he actually, as he went from quirkless but has a power, he doesn't need a quirk, to having a power that could create quirks too. So he ends up creating ones that are like healing potions from that time I got reincarnated as slime. Because with, yeah, as, yeah. So now we'll go over the overhaul thing. And he does like, he actually got asked by 3 people to go on a date with him. Momo, Ochako, and her. I'm going to leave it in the comments or in the post of who would you choose. Because, yeah, I'm probably going to do a reboot of this, so don't worry. So, yeah. So the detective You know, as he knows that he's predicted one thing. As Sir Night Eyes, he appreciates him. He acts, instead of them fighting each other's, Zuko, as actually, instead of Ink, or no, not Inko, instead of Zumi got one for all, I'm gonna do it on canon, so Zuko got one for all. As Zuko, or actually Mirio, or no, Eraserhead, no, hold on. Sir Night Eyes was like gonna beat him around. As the barrier as he made his entire body has barriers, so he basically controls the barrier. So he ends up using and advancing his destructive power. So he says or shield breaker, boom. As he basically in the name as Her Night Eyes was like pouring it on him, like literally, like you shouldn't be worthy to wield that much power, Zuko. As he's just trying to test how strong he really is. As he says, as Zuko's, he gets this weird feeling of unlocking his new ability. As it was called Time Stopper or Stronger. So he's basically, when he opens his eyes, he stops time, like the entire timeline. So he basically froze time itself. He ran up to to Sir Night Eyes and did his own shield breaker smash thing with 52 times. And then when he let the time go, as Zuko, or as Sir Night Eyes sends flying, as his entire body looked like he basically was bleeding. Not all the way, but just like there's only scrapes and he kind of looked like that, but on a whole nother level. As he says, what just happened? As he says, Zuko says, what just happened? And probably, did I unlock a new power? As he looks at his hand, and Mirio, who looks at him, says, I think you did unlock a new power. As even or Mirio's a little bit speechless of how he gets more powers and quirks at the same time. As yeah, he basically won. So now the overhaul thing, and Batman looks over at Zuko and tells him, "Can you analyze it?" Sure. As he says, hmm. As Zuko was basically remembers when he accessed the past, it made his heart sink as he starts to tear up as he couldn't believe as Mirio noticed that they never seen him cry before. As he says that me and Mirio are so focused on getting intel things. As Zuko is basically having like a heyday. So everyone's trying to calm him down. Like, calm down, please. What did you see? As he uses his power to show everyone what he saw. As Overhaul, or they knew that Overhaul was the one using Ares' quirk. As he tells them that Ares is the only person that has this rewind quirk so far. Right, Sir Night Eyes? Yes. So far, she's the only person that we know so far that has the power to rewind time. It's similar to your time stopper quirk or power. Or timeline stopper. Yes. As Eraser had, or actually Ochako, and everyone had this burning question on their minds. So Eraserhead asks Zuko, "What is this power called timeline stopper?" It's as he explains, it allows him to basically move freely around the timeline without having to worry about the consequences. As I activated it when when I was battling against Sir Night Eyes. As the Mirio couldn't believe that he could, but it also, as you could see my physical body, right? Yeah. When we saw your body, yeah, so go ahead, Zuko. As he used, or how about we not? As he activates his timeline stopper, he comes out of his body as a ghost. So he walks right through the wall, right through people that are gonna ambush them. Walks downstairs or through the where downstairs, and as he says, there you are, as he slaps Overhaul, sends him flying, as he, let's say he pickpocketed Overhaul so that to grab the erasing bullets, completed ones, as he put all the ammo in his pocket. And when he came back, and to where he's, yeah, as he tells him that there's probably gonna be ambush thing like at the front door. So the Zuko uses his own door. So he actually opens the door through on top of the door. As he goes through, he literally went through with everyone, and he ends up beating all the villains. As all the villains are confused of why. No need to worry. As they open the door, they do the same thing. As Toga was there, as Zuko uses his quirk, like One for All, he actually used N with another quirk called Infinity Lord. So basically, to make his hits way more brutal, like if necessary. It's like the power up for the, or like recharge, or yeah. As he actually feels great until Waffle. Sorry. So he does meet the first user of One for All. Means everyone else, because he was so kind. Yeah. As he accepts him anything. And all one like, why did he slap me? Or like, yeah, so he can basically, when he's basically a powerhouse. When he uses his shield thing, he keeps his arm from exploding, and he channels through the power to create new. It's basically like hockey. It's like hockey from One Piece. Almond hockey. Boom! As he basically, yeah, he did it with his foot so that and Muriel grabs or tells, or no, actually Toga was about to stab, and Zuko just flicked her away. Yeah. When he used the time stopper thing, or timeline stopper, he punched Toga in the side, and sending her flying around like a little rag doll. Yeah. You do not want to know what he does to poor little Toga. And yeah, he, of course, Zuko was like, as he, as Toga was flying around, and what just hit me? Huh. As Eraserhead tells him, good job. It is like Waiwa, from JoJo, where everything's paused. Yeah. Yeah. He basically caught up to Overhaul, as Overhaul's goon was fully knocked out, as he or he thought he had a bullet, but he had a toy gun say bang. Yeah. Is there like what? As Overhaul's like, oh, idiot. Oh, he's not an idiot. As Mirio tells him that your or my comrade has a special ability. You don't know about the timeline stopper, or what does it do? As Overhaul asks. Well, as Zuko opens the door, and Eraserhead and Sir Night Eyes went through, and yeah. As he tells them that they don't worry, I'll take care of him real quick. As he uses like his shield to hold Overhaul in, as the slow went stabbed right through Zuko's side stomach thing, as he says, got you. As yeah. And Zuko uses his barrier, or actually he thought, but his hair ends up bouncing off of him. Says, huh, you forgot my barrier can just do more than one at a time. Now it's time for me to use my ultimate voice. As Zuko, as Mr. Aizawa and Sir Night Eyes everyone covers their ears, as he roars louder than any normal person, sending an Overhaul flying and to the spikes. Yeah. Overhaul got mad, and he transformed into a monster. As they said, or he tells them that we need to go get, or stay clear. As he says, as he used black whips on his arms. Ready? As he uses his black whips, enchanted with like shield things, so that Plus, they could go through portals. As he grabs Overhaul, as he says, yeah, as he says, huh, you're, hmm, you're holded. And Zuko says, huh, looks like the only person that you are I'm holding is actually you, Overhaul. As he, yeah, sends Overhaul flying and around like a little fish. Or like, as Zuko holds him, as he says that I believe there's one, as he remembers which one, the red represents take away your quirks, right? As Overhaul's like eyes are widened. Where did you get that from? Hmm. Oh, when I used my time breaker or timeline stopper quirk, I ended up stealing or pickpocketed you without you even knowing it. And I switched your comrade's gun for a toy gun, so boom! He shot right underneath, or actually right at the arm of Overhaul, as Overhaul came back to, like, went back into the four bodies and, yeah, such and such. As he says, huh. As he knew how, as they're like, huh, you just shot a man. Here, catch. It's the quirk erasing bullets that, remember, that you gave me? Yeah. How did you, Zuko, why did you use, it was actually, so now Overhaul is now quirkless. So, yeah, his quirk is completely now erased from history. So, yeah. As he tells them that I, I knew that he was gonna use it on Mirio. So in order to save Mirio's quirk, I had to use, it was the, you know, yeah. As Overhaul says, you predicted the move before I even make them. No wonder why you're the only one that's. As Overhaul decided to not make any more of those drug things, he ends up decided, instead of like being like, oh, the quirks infected this entire world, let's go back to having no quirks and solving the problem. He actually, this is what I think. I think he was trying to do something that keeps people from, like, overloading everybody. And, yeah, people. So, yeah, Zuko ends up winning. And of course, Overhaul actually decided to, or he actually told him that let's be friends and all that stuff. Okay. And yeah, all the villains that were under Overhaul's like rule, they all like see Zuko as a peace, and yeah, he's beyond symbol of peace. He's none of peace. Yeah. He can, so they worship him as a nun. Yeah. So now I'm gonna leave it in a post. Let's say I'm let's say Momo, who was the one that got chosen, as they got married, they had kids, and I know probably some of you are flying to the keyboard and says, how about Ochako or the big hands girl from class 1B? But I'm gonna put up the tab or poll of which class first would be which class would the girl be in. Number 2 would be which one, and third would be from class 1B. So I'm asking you right here, right now. So yeah. So now have fun, don't die, and have fun.